Hello everybody and welcome to Mistborne. This is our third episode, technically our second session, so happy to have you all back again for another one of these very interesting times that everything's going to go just fine. I'm sure everything will be a-okay. So, we'll get into a recap soon, but first we'll go around and we'll have each of you introduce yourselves as usual, let us know who you're playing and what class you are, as well as tell us a little bit about yourself. So we'll go around. So we'll start the opposite way from usual. We'll start with Nala. So, Humbledore.
Whoa. Hey, so I'm Alison, or Humbledore. You can't find me anywhere. But I play Nala, the human variant barbarian, who has had a very confusing time, just trying to keep the family together, and away from, Farah's seagull. So
That too.
Yeah.
Farah is muted, so
you're mute, darling.
This, so
we're not in the mine bar.
I didn't want to talk over your introduction.
That's fair.
Mine bar.
All right, so we'll move straight on. Speaking of mine bars, to Prosper, our brilliant bard.
Hello, so I am Shakes, also known as Shaksqueer. Wait, other way around. Shaksqueer, also known as Shakes. And I am playing Prosper the Unseen, who is a void tiefling, so Vanta Black tiefling, living silhouette, who's very, very nervous about everything that's been happening, and is basically just trying to stay out of harm's way, i.e. out of Pete's way, and keep, the ship free of rats and other seagulls, and generally small critters in general.
Yeah, I mean,
apart from the cat.
Pete is a bit of a problem. Pete is, he's not so much harm. He keeps everybody sharp. That's what he does. I think that's his purpose in life.
Yep.
And
if you want to see Prosper hide under a crate, that's the seagull to do it.
Definitely. And moving on to Talgrath. Welcome back.
Hey, good to be here, as always. I'm Dan. I'm playing Talgrath, the half-orc fighter. He's not a barbarian, he's a fighter. Forget my own character. There's not much to say apart from he enjoys paying people to shove him in barrels, apparently.
He does. We did discover that last time, and that's concerning. But, everybody's got the thing, and that's Talgrath.
No judgment.
Grease him up and stuff him in a barrel.
No kink shaming the half-orc here.
Definitely not. Right, and okay, and...
One.
And moving swiftly on from that, Rahimi.
So speaking of half-orcs, hi, I'm Banjalerp, also known as Angie. You can find me anywhere as Banjalerp. I am playing Rahimi, the half-orc witch, who sometimes sounds like Spanish, Italian, whatever. Sometimes goes Scottish, you never know. But she's also the resident
Rahimi.
boat teacher. So speaking of half-orcs, hi, I'm Banjalerp.
Medic.
Brilliant.
But yeah, she is just currently doing her thing on the ship, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, that makes complete sense. And, all right, so finally, last but not least, Farah, our resident, very interesting mermaid hunter.
I will agree with that pre-advertisement of who I am. I am Farah Reed, captain currently of the Morning Glory, collector of mimed boots, and conjurer of cannons.
Conjurer of cannons.
I have a very good friend known as Petty Pete, who is a seagull. And I am not so secretly in love with Nala. I think that's everything you need to know about Farah.
Yeah,
Really?
I think that does cover it. I mean, there's some interesting stuff going on with that. I'm so shipping it so far. Okay, so last
Shipping
session,
it like the Morning Glory.
shipping it like the Morning Glory, off
Shipping it
into
like
the
Amazon.
dark seas, and then back again into dark.
And then back
tides.
again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's a repetitive thing. You just keep coming back to each other. And okay, so last session, we had our first voyage of the Morning Glory. They set out from dark tides, wanting to escape this strange place where they keep on coming back to every single time, and they ended up indeed arriving back in dark tides after a few days of sailing on the open oceans. Strange, given that they were heading directly away, but they still managed to find themselves pulling up into the dreary and fog and absolute sludge-filled harbour of dark tides again. Once there, they began to try and stitch together what happened. They began to remember things. Rahimi remembering a song on the wind that hit her ear, a vision that she saw out in the open ocean of a large, jagged rock, almost akin to a dagger that jutted out of the ocean, and figures that were surrounding it, and something large and dark below the sea. And as you all began to investigate this, you discovered in the library, the one which nobody visits in dark tides aside from yourselves, you discovered books that the gentleman who ran it had begun to collect, that spoke of these voices, that spoke of this rock and this thing that sleeps beneath it. After this, you also managed to have a brilliant time with Talgrath and Farah hitting up the mine bar, where they discovered that they could, if they put their imaginations to it, have anything happen. And indeed they did summon forth a cannon with all of their wills and minds combined between the crew. And they appeared back on the ship with a cannon perfectly placed, no one questioning it. Some people looking at it at least, a bit terrified, but when Farah appears with a cannon on your ship, you don't really question it when she's your captain. So, with that in mind, we find ourselves once again getting ready to set out. You all have your provisions stocked, your books are checked, everything is ready to go. The sails have been repaired a little bit more since last time. There's been some paint added onto the ship. In addition to that, you've also managed to get yourselves nice and ready and comfortable.
Did we go for yellow paint in the end?
That is what I'm about to ask you. What paint did you go for in the end?
Yellow.
Like a buttercup yellow.
I don't know. I'm a fan of red.
Lemon yellow.
You know when Calamity Jane and Katie Brown do up the hut and they paint
no!
a nice yellow colour?
Woman's touch.
Definitely.
I mean, I was a big fan of, red. But if we want to go yellow, that's fine.
It's red and yellow.
Two best colours.
It's got flames, that's what...
Yeah, it's like go faster stripes, flames.
Just as long as it's not
like a hot
yellow
rod.
with a pink mast and 4 really, really irritating Scouser crewmen, then we're good.
No,
I was saying, when this becomes a yellow submarine, I'm out, though.
No,
Yeah,
that's fine.
same.
So you've had like some very interesting looking
The boat will
flames
stay on
sort
top of the
painted
water.
on. And it kind of, the flames peek out of the water and come out from the front and sort of flare out near the back, as if, sailing into the sun itself. They thought it was appropriate with your name.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful.
And Leslie finishes painting the ship as he
Oh no.
puts the finishing touch to the last flame at the back. He's got some ropes harness around him and he kind of finishes it. The tall man with the big old beard just kind of sat there and, there we go.
Is there anything Leslie can't do?
He's a man
I
of
don't know,
many
but he's
talents.
MVP of this
Survive
ship. Right now.
Farah.
Survive Farah is indeed something that he probably can't do.
Why don't we see if he can swim? She brings down her sword on the rope, drop him into the water.
Plop.
I'll try and catch
his,
him.
His brush
Yeah, I was
like-
gonna say.
Okay, so Rahimi and Nala, as you two go to catch him, could you both give me... Well, one of you give me an athletics check with advantage for the other one helping.
I'm in her advantage.
All right.
Yeah, so Nala's getting the
Yes.
advantage on this.
Watch this fail.
My girl might be thick, but she's not strong.
It seems that you and Nala do very good, as the two of you do manage to catch onto Leslie, and he kind of looks at you and goes, "Thank you. I was very much thought that it might not go very well."
It's all right. You missed a spot, and I just sort of let him dangle
Yeah.
and just let him paint that bit.
All right, thank
and then
you.
just bring him
There
up.
we go.
Like holding on to
wait.
Nala from around the waist behind her, so she doesn't go over.
I shoot Farah a look like, this is fine.
All right, thank you. I think I've got it. Yeah, I think I've got it.
Great job.
Yeah, you do a good job down there.
I appreciate you loosening the ropes for me. It made sure that I could, get this all sorted. I was a bit high, so it kind of helped. Thank you, Captain Farah. I know
You're
you don't want anything
high.
bad, so,
What do you think? This is a pleasure boat.
yeah. Sorry, I don't know what.
Heat! Where are you?
I quickly throw him at like over the deck so that like Pete doesn't basically harass my hand into letting him into the sea.
You pull him onto the deck. He kind of just the large man, very tall but very lanky, just almost like spaghettis onto the
Slenderman?
floor. You know, yeah, he's like Slenderman.
No,
and you kinda,
I'm the
pull him
Slenderman on
and
this ship. Go steal
I'm
my
saying,
ship.
like, you know, the same kind of body type.
Slender
I'm
bloke.
better 'cause I have
There's only room for one noodle.
And he like noodles onto the deck. He's like pulled on by you, Nala, as he's immediately just pulled onto the deck and lands on his feet. And Pete caws and lands on your head.
Now then, Pete, tell me, what is our policy on drug use on our ship?
Well, that's entirely dependent on what you believe our policy on drug use is, Miss Farah.
I agree.
Meanwhile, all you hear is seagull noises.
With the drug use policy? Like
Pete
talking
here has
to
just
Nala.
been informing me that we do, and it's a very fine policy.
Indeed, I did. I just notified you of it.
Yes.
Yes.
I bend down to Leslie, just
I mean, all right. I mean, I guess. Oh, okay, if I need to.
yes.
All right. I'm not very good at hiding.
Go now.
All right. He says,
Mermaids! That's
Right.
what we were doing.
He gets-
I remember now.
Ask Prosper
Rolling
if you
up.
need help hiding. They're pretty good at it.
Oh, if I can find him, I'll ask him.
Yeah, that's fair.
As he gets moving onwards and gets moving deeper into the ship. And as he does, and as all of you sort of consider the policy, what is your policy, Farah? Out of curiosity, what have you decided your policy is?
Farah's policy is no drug use on a ship about to set sail, during sail, or coming into dock. In dock, happy days.
I thought it'd be more unless you share with the captain, then it's fine.
Yeah.
That's the policy on drinking. Drug use, slightly different policy.
I mean,
I
like,
think that's
isn't drinking
understandable.
still technically drugs? Drugs?
No! Drinking is the lifeblood of a woman at sea.
Oh. I think I'll remain a girl then.
Oh, Rahimi, you have so much to learn.
Prosper's just looking down from the crow's nest, like.
Now, Rahimi, have you
I
ever...
just shrug up at her like.
It's like that sounds like a very, very weird lesson on anatomy. Just like, really? It is? That doesn't sound right.
Now, Rahimi, have you ever steered a ship?
Not to my knowledge.
Haha! And she'll like sweep her arm around you and guide you up
Uh,
to the.
out of
wheel.
curiosity, how tall is Farah? I don't even know if I knew.
I don't know, not that tall. Probably like 5'8" maybe.
The shortest of the
He's so tiny.
Go figure the captain is the shortest one. I love it.
Scary.
But my hat is very tall.
It totally makes up for it. Yes, this makes sense. Okay, so we're going to learn how to steer a ship?
Yes.
Are you sure you want me to learn when we're pulling out of port?
It's a very good time to learn lots of things for you to practice avoiding.
Uh-huh.
I love
Okay.
this approach to driving lessons. This is amazing.
Not
Don't worry, I'll be with you the whole time.
That's what I'm afraid of.
Reassuring.
Okay, so, what do I do?
First up, we set the sails! And Farah calls down for the sails to be set at
Yep.
half
Your crew get to setting it
and
immediately.
tilt it into the wind.
They don't like to delay when you shout orders. They're pretty scared of you. So they begin to immediately set up and go, "Aye, miss.
Hoist the anchor!
Aye."
I've played Sea of Thieves, I know how this goes.
I had the same thought.
Captain, there's a
Rahimi!
microtransaction off the west side.
Turn her hard to the left. That's port. Even though port is to the right, but don't worry about it too much.
Port is to the left.
Port
No, I
is
know,
left.
but port literally is to the right.
Oh, I get you now. I understand. I
On that
understand.
side.
I
So
don't
you get
understand.
turning.
I'm so confused.
Have you got proficiency in water vehicles, Rahimi?
Nope.
I I do though, and I would like to assist Rahimi.
Assist Rahimi. So Rahimi, if you just give me, you know what? We'll just give you a quick dexterity.
But
check to go
D20
with
at
that.
advantage.
Yeah, basically just say that. I'll give you dexterity at least, as you're kind of being a bit more nimble on it, but with advantage, because obviously you've got Farah shouting in your ear.
So dexterity check.
Dexterity check
That's an
with
advantage.
Woo!
Okay.
Not so bad.
On a 17, brilliant stuff. So you begin to turn, and just like before, when Farah was going, you do begin to turn towards the lighthouse that seems to almost draw you into it. But
Now
turn
you see the lighthouse. That's a rather large thing we'd like to avoid.
Right. So I turn to the right.
The wheel.
Okay.
Give me another check, please.
Oh, with advantage.
I will be
With
calling
advantage.
out instructions for the sails to be adjusted as appropriate.
Yeah, definitely. Wow.
I'm the new cap. Look at me. Look at me. I'm the captain now.
You see,
Oh
Nala,
my
my
God.
protege is a genius.
So, Rahimi, you see this lighthouse approaching, and suddenly everything clicks in your mind, and you spin the wheel away, and you turn, and the sails are drawn just at the perfect time, and you catch the wind, and it cuts through the ocean and past, leaving a wide berth from the actual lighthouse itself, and you make it away safely and onto the open ocean, where there's less to crash into for at least a bit.
I feel like I've read a book about this before. Not about sailing, but about, people learning to sail together.
Was it good?
It was a little trite.
Like Tritons, that's a kind of mermaid.
Yes. And funny enough, they ran into tritons in that book. Huh.
Sounds
Hopefully-
like a witchy book to me.
It was a really bad romance novel.
Is that not the same thing?
Ah! Well, you know, that's a fair question.
And at that moment, what are the rest of you doing?
Prosper is hiding in the crow's nest.
You're very much doing that. Nobody's seeing you up there. You're in the crow's nest peeking out.
Because at this point, we've seen the fact that the rock that we're looking for is on the back of a really big thing. So
Yeah.
Prosper is just like, I'm going to try not to die.
I mean, that's very fair. As you're trying not to die and succeeding so far, and you see that Rahimi seems to be steering very well, in fact, and misses the lighthouse a lot less close than Farah did initially. Still, without that fear in mind,
It's like
you
just a thumbs up out of the crow's nest and then back. It's like, yeah. She may
And-
not even be looking, but just like, yeah.
So a single thumb just comes up from the top where no one can see, but you know, and that's what counts.
Yeah,
So what about yourself, Talgrath?
Talgrath is going to be using his imagination to try and imagination a compass that points to where he wants to go, not taken from any films I've seen recently. And wants to point towards this giant rock that we're trying to get to, full of mermaids.
Okay, so you point your imaginary compass, and you do that indeed. Unfortunately, there is no manifestation, but you can believe, and that's what counts, Talgrath.
Mm-hmm.
Why does point your imaginary compass sound like like really, really bad double entendre?
Because you're on a ship called the Morning Glory.
That's the
What else
one,
is it
that's
gonna
right.
be?
Well, it was always called the Morningwood. We we're being mature now.
We classed it up
Yeah.
a little.
Yeah, definitely. This is classy, Mistborne.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah, so classy.
you're imagining it, and you look out into the ocean, and you think you know where it is. It's out there somewhere. You think you know where you could find it. Maybe if you were steering, you could find it.
He looks at the two people currently manning the ship and decides against to go and interfere with that mess.
Yeah, you see the distant Rahimi steering, hair dramatically being, swept by the wind.
It's going great, but he does not want any part of it.
Farah looking like an outright dread pirate next to her.
Mm-hmm.
Heat existing.
Yeah, mainly for Pete. Just wants to avoid Pete.
It's a good thing to do in general. Yeah, that's good. But still, as this sort of steering's going on, as it's going out, and as you're considering where it would be, and you think I could do that, but I'm staying clear of that mess. Nala, what are you up to?
In Darktide, would I have been able to acquire a telescope, an eyeglass?
Yes.
Okay, I would have liked to have acquired an eyeglass.
Great.
And I'll slide up to Talgrath. While he's like apparently just sat there like, I imagine hard enough. And as he's like gesturing to himself, like I'll just place the spyglass in his hand. If you're looking for the rock, that might help.
Wasn't what I wanted, but it will do.
Well, I'm sorry I don't have it gift wrapped for you.
Oh, you gave it to me. Oh, okay.
Thank you. You're welcome. Oh, shout me if you find anything. And we've got a closed barrel policy tonight, just in case something happens. So no barrels.
I will do my best.
I'll have Prosper check in. They like to check.
All right. So, and as you're doing that, and, you're sort of making your way out, the day goes pretty smoothly. And it's only as the dim day becomes the darker night that you begin to feel a cold come over the actual boat itself. There's almost a chill that seems to pass through it all at once. And Rahimi, could you give me a very quick, just a wisdom check, please?
Sure thing. I'm gonna fail it though. Yeah, called it.
Yeah, you called it. Yep, all right. Everything's fine.
Totally. Rock? What rock?
Farah is gonna pull on that jacket that Nala found in the captain's quarters and put it on properly for the first time. It's only kind of been over her shoulders until now, but she puts her arms in.
Awesome.
There's an ill wind about. It's cold.
Feels
Prosper
fine to
weirdly
me.
like climbs down and is enjoying the weather. Just like, oh, this is nice.
Ominous chills, just what I like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does Farah look really cold?
I look a bit chilled.
All right, I stride over to her and I unclasp my my fur cloak and I just drape that around her shoulders. If you're gonna be staying at the wheel all the time, you've got to be warm. Okay?
Thank you. I seem to be in the breeze here.
And I'll basically go and bug the cook to see if we've got any hot food going.
All right, so you go to find the cook, and you find them, and they're currently kind of bundled up.
You've gone all quiet on us, Hollow.
Oh no, that's no good. Should be fine. Broadcasting on no BS.
I
This
can.
is
You've kind
spooky.
of been like dipping quiet and loud
Okay,
for a
okay,
while.
that's a
but
bit
now it's just
strange,
quiet.
yeah.
I feel like
Is
it's
Zoom auto-adjusting you?
stuff.
Let me just figure that out.
Yeah, I was gonna
Oh,
say,
you're
it sounds
How
like
about now? How about now? How's that?
That's
yeah,
good.
you're good.
Cool. Weird. All right, so I'll just move my mic closer. That's apparently done the job. But yeah, okay. So, oh hey, torso guy. Thank you. Awesome. And with our technical difficulties out of the way on my part, distantly being absorbed by the wind that's passing through, you're given the fur cloak. And as you warm up a bit from it, and you go to find the cook, Nala, could you give me a wisdom saving throw, please?
Sure. Wisdom. It's a 10.
On a 10. So on a 10, you feel drawn to the front of the ship. You just
Okay.
feel drawn and your feet begin to move. And you move over towards the front of the ship. And the rest of you see Nala say, "I'm gonna go find the cook," walks off to the front of the ship and out of view.
Do
Na-
cooks
na-
normally hang out on the front of ships?
That's not
Should we follow? We follow.
Okay.
I would recommend one person staying on the wheel.
Well, that's the captain.
You see Farah so torn between Nala and the wheel, her two great loves.
Do you want me to stay, Captain, and you can go seek your lady fair?
Already
I'll
looking after
check
Nala.
on her.
Okay, I take the wheel.
Farah
Or-
is so distracted that she takes her hat off and she puts it on Rahimi, just in case anyone tries to question her protege at the wheel.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
I want that back.
That's how it is. You got the hat, you're the captain. That's how it works.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you got your hat on, your steering, and you begin to make your way towards the front. Farah, as you get towards sort of the middle of the deck, could you make me a wisdom saving throw, please? Have advantage.
Do I need to? Because I've already started walking after Nala.
No, you're going, so
Oh, okay.
you're fine for now.
I'm just walking into whatever it is. It's fine.
That's technically
Wow.
a 23.
Yeah.
So I rolled a save instead of a check. but-
Still a crit though, so that's good. So you immediately, Farah, something hits your ear, and you hear it on the wind, and you hear this ever so quiet song, this beautiful song, this sad song that carries itself over the wind. And whilst it's really, really subtle, you know it. You know this sound.
Baby shark doo doo. No, it's back! The siren song!
Siren song on CBBC. It's not Baby Shark.
Fucking love you, Charlie.
unfortunately.
Jesus Christ.
And
But-
she clamps her hands over her ears to try and block this siren song. She knows a mermaid when she hears it.
She does. And you clamp your hands over your ears, and you see that the rest of the crew behind you begin to converge towards the front of the ship. You see these
No,
figures
I
all
told
blank
ya!
of eye and just walking.
Where are your earbuds,
Towards-
you maniacs? We're dealing with mermaids and sirens and tritons and deep dark things that are a lot like the above.
Could you give me a persuasion check, please?
I sure can. 14.
Unfortunately, your abrasive personality doesn't help you in this case, and as you're like, we're dealing with these things, you're meant to have your earbuds in, they don't listen as they continue to walk towards the front of the ship.
Oh.
And you see Nala pressed to the front of the bow, and is just stood right on the front of it. And ahead of her, you see Farah from your position, and of course yourself, Prosper, as you're kind of walking on up. You see a large rock jutting out of the ocean. You see multiple forms on them. Some feminine, some masculine. The masculine ones having strange fish-like features and tridents in their hand. And there's a few of these other forms that look different inherently. Some of them have tails, but half of a body of a humanoid. And there is one upon the rock that stands further up that has what looks to be a collection of almost fish-like scales and feathers upon their body, and they're singing this beautiful song over the winds that you can hear as the boat is almost turning towards it. Rahimi, where you are on ship, the boat itself almost seems to be moving against your control of the wheel. It is pulling towards something in the distance, and as you look, you see that familiar sight that you saw the last time you were on the oceans, and you see this dagger-like rock, this black obsidian rock just jutting out of the ocean, and you see these forms upon it.
Captain, should we drop anchor?
You
I
look
believe
over,
you're the captain.
Oh, shit.
you look over and you see Farah is in the crowd of your crew, the 20-odd people surrounding them.
I'm going to drop anchor. Drop anchor! Somebody!
Talgrath will
roll.
get to dropping the anchor.
Talgrath, you walk down to drop the anchor. Wisdom save, please.
Yeah.
Prosper's just stood there going, bad rock?
Yes!
No, I mean bad rock.
I mean bad
Damn
rock.
it.
Okay, so Talgrath, you resist. You sort of walk down and you hear this song on the wind, but you're a bit drunk, and it
Not
doesn't really
mentioning
bother
stuff
you.
me in a barrel, I'm fine.
Exactly. The song doesn't specifically mention stuffing you in a barrel, so it's not hidden your particular wants. So you walk onto deck and you grab the anchor and throw it overboard, and you hear it splash into the ocean and basically disappear into the depths below, and it scrapes across the rocks beneath, and you can hear a horrible noise below you. And you do begin to slow and stop, about 20 foot away from the rock. The song now heard more clearly over. Those of them still captured by the song, blankly staring towards the rock. You see some of the crew beginning to dive into the ocean as two of the members on your furthest away from you, Farah, near the edge of the ship, dive in.
Either one of them, Leslie?
Neither one of them, Leslie.
God damn it.
Leslie stands at the back near you, Rahimi, and he goes, "This is really concerning. Actually, I don't exactly know why they're doing it, but well, you know."
I don't know either, but you should stay here.
Right? Yeah, I'm staying here. You do what you need, and I'll be here. I'll look after the wheel.
Are there any loose ropes nearby?
Plenty. You're on a ship.
Okay, cool. Talgrath has a plan. Whether it goes ahead or not is another thing. Talgrath is going to, from where he is, swing the rope around the entire crew that's around there and try and grab both ends just to try and drag him in from jumping off the end.
You're trying to you're trying to throw
Trying
a
to
rope
lasso the entire
the
crew.
entire crew.
Yes.
Pirates and cowboys.
Give me an athletics check then, please.
Can I assist? Maybe grab the end
Yeah.
and like pull it around the end if it doesn't
Pull
make
it
it or
around
something?
the other side. Yeah, you can help. So you can have advantage.
Oh.
Thank God for the advantage. It's an 8. So Talgrath, you pull back the rope. The lightning strikes and lights up the area, and this rock in the distance is sort of silhouetted with these forms upon it. And you swing the rope around and throw it, and it goes immediately off to your right and off the edge of the boat.
I envisioned that going a lot better.
Cover their ears! Do something! Farah's like pushing her way through to get to Nala, not wanting Nala to go off the end of the boat.
So you begin to push your
Rahimi will
way.
be walking up trying to like push
Brilliant.
people back.
Cool. So, could you give me?
Can we hear things then? Is it obvious
You
that
can.
this
You
is
can
an
hear the
audible
song at this
thing?
point. You're close enough now.
Okay.
You can hear the song. It's
You got
clear.
really quiet
Woman
again.
overboard!
Damn it.
Woman overboard!
Wonder why it's doing that. It might actually be Zoom. 'Cause
Yeah,
it's
It seems to be like
broadcasting.
swapping between inputs or something. It's very
Yeah,
strange.
Zoom's being a bit of a strange one, but it should be okay.
Technical difficulties.
Well, the good bit is the stream audio is fine.
Yay! That's the important
is
part.
gonna like
Yeah.
run up on Nala and like basically like lean right over her
Right.
and get their mouth as close to her ear as possible, and then use thaumaturgy to make their voice 3 times as loud and just shout, "This is not where the cook is!" Trying to like block out the sound for a minute so that she actually stops.
So as you're
at it.
approaching and trying to do that, could you, the two of you trying to approach, Nala, could you give me either acrobatics or just dexterity to slip through the crew and sort of make your way through and yell that with thaumaturgy, bang on into her ear?
Okay, what am I rolling?
Acrobatics
Sorry.
or dexterity, the highest of the two for you.
Ooh, it's the same thing. Okay.
Because Farah's making the way over as well.
That's 11. That's not
So in
great.
11, you're beginning to make your way through the crew, but you're kind of struggling to get through a few of them. They're packed in tight, and you know, they're sort of all making their way slowly to shamble towards the edge, and so you don't quite make it to Nala. You're close, but you're about say 8 foot away. They just stood there. Farah, on the other hand, what did you get?
Oh, I didn't realize I was rolling. Sorry, what am I meant to be rolling?
Acrobatics or dexterity, the highest of the two for you.
Oh, I think that's gonna be acrobatics. I will like cartwheel my way through the crowd, kick a few people out of my way, try and get to my lovely lady love. Why are my stats different on D&D Beyond? What did I
No
do?
idea. That's a good point. You need access to your sheet again because your Roll20's had a moment. So let me.
No, I've got it. I've got access to my sheet.
Right. Okay. Cool.
It's just weirdly different, but that's okay.
Oh,
19.
true love.
Okay, on a
wonderful.
19, however, you do break your way through the crowd. You cartwheel and you kick a few of the crew members in the face, and they move aside immediately and they part as you see Nala, the tall form of Nala, the flowing hair wild in the wind, and the flashes of lightning distant silhouetting her. And right in front of her, only about 5 foot away, is that form that you saw on the top of the rock. This feminine form, sleek, with scales upon them and feathers of different colours. And they are very close to her, reaching out. And you can see Nala's hands, her eyes still blank as she reaches out towards the form.
I
As you
draw
make it
my
to her.
short sword from my side, diving in front of her, and I want to try and cut that hand off.
Okay,
No
go,
salty sea wench shall steal my woman.
go ahead. Give me the attack check, please.
Alright. 11.
That salty sea wench seems to be able to steal your woman. As
Can I offhand with my dagger to
you
weapon
can,
fighting?
as you swing with the blade, and she moves her hand
13.
aside, and you stab with your dagger, and she flips her hand back again. You do, however, manage to make her pull her hands away as she sees you
Get
swinging
back,
your
you
blades
briny
wildly.
bitch!
At which point, I'd like you all to roll me initiative, please.
Ooh. Ooh. Oh
Can
boy,
you
oh
give
boy,
us our
oh boy.
tokens, please?
Oh boy.
Yes, I certainly can. Well, not everybody's got art, so we'll just have to add it on.
Yeah.
So we'll need to
Okay.
just remember them. There we go. We're doing it the OG way.
Oh, gee.
Okay, so
Why?
tell me who's got the highest, and then we'll go around.
Why?
I keep. There we
keep?
go. I keep forgetting to switch to my character's name rather than mine.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
So you're rolling as Banjalerp.
Yeah, yeah.
wild artist
I'm
appears.
super dexy.
Yeah, basically. Okay, cool. So what we got? Who's got the highest out of all of you?
I got 21.
So I believe that's Prosper.
So that's Pross.
Yes, let's let the coward
Who's
go
next?
first. That's a great idea.
Let's just go.
I mean,
through,
hey,
so-
you can run away.
Definitely. So we've got Prosper at 21. Who's next?
Me, Rahimi.
And what you've got?
I have 11.
Nice. Okay. Rahimi. Directly after you is when the siren goes, and then anybody be a 9.
No.
Okay, so that's when the merfolk go. And who's got just below a 9 but above everybody else? What else we got? A 7 up, see?
Mm-hmm. That'll
7
be
is a
Nala.
Nala.
Nala, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
7 of Nalas, and
And it would be myself with a 5.
Talgrath with a solid 5.
Yeah.
I got 2! One for me and one for Narla. I also have 2 boots.
Brilliant stuff. Okay, so, and the crew will go on Farah's turn when they are currently snapped out. So, as you're on this ship and as you see these things appear, as you see and slash at this lady's hands as she's kind of pushing her hands towards Nala to grip hers and pull her in, you swing, she whips them back, and as soon as she does, you begin to hear noises around the back end and side of the ship. And we'll start with Prosper. Prosper. You're about 5 foot away from Nala. You've managed to push your way through much of the crew. You see Farah attacking this feminine form just ahead of the ship that has these strange feathers and scales on her body. And she's still singing this song as she's whips her hands away from the assaulting blades of Farah. You also hear strange noises further back.
Ooh. Okay, faced with Nala and Farah right in front of me and something very nefarious there, I'm going to ignore the noises and just be like, okay, focus on this. Don't run that way. Focus on this. And Prosper is going to kind of like standing slightly above the crew that are gathered around them are going to clap their hands together and say, one more day standing about, what is it for? One day less to be living, and is going to cast Bane on creepy creature in front of them. So now I've got to find that on my character sheet. God, never played a bard before, so this is fun.
It'll be a charisma save for them.
Yes. Yes. Charisma save. Thank you.
I just linked it because I have the same spell.
I actually have all this written down, but I'm like, oh no, never done this before. Bards in combat, what the hell? You can't even like break a bottle over someone's head like a normal musician.
Oh, of course, of course. And what is your save on that?
14.
14. Okay, so they do fail that actually, as you manage to cast your words out, and they sort of cut over the song that this creature is singing and hit them deep, as you feel that sort of connection form, and they look at you with baleful eyes.
Okay, and they have a D4 debuff now for everything.
Brilliant stuff.
For attack rolls or saving throws. And with
Cool.
my bonus action, I'm going to take as many steps forward as I can to get like slightly behind Farah.
Yep.
And just put a hand on her back and just say, "You are the one thing in life you can control," and give her a bardic inspiration. So
Awesome
she has a D6
stuff.
to add to attack, saving
Well, that
throws.
was lovely,
and
but I'm
ability
gonna put
check.
out Siren.
Just like slightly hiding behind Farah, like, "Get okay, I'm not running."
Okay.
Okay.
So, at that point, we go to Rahimi at the back of the ship. You hear these noises to the right and left of you as you've walked onto the main deck, and you see these sort of slick, scaly hands making their way over the side of the railings. And you see two of them on either side that begin to reach their way onto the ship.
All right. Well, first I am going to use my action to cast Hex.
Brilliant stuff.
Or not cast, but like do Hex. It's
Yeah.
a witch ability.
The Witch by Mage Hand Press.
Yes.
That's what we need to refer to it as every
nice.
time.
I don't really have anything as a bonus action, unfortunately.
No, it's completely fine.
So,
So
I
what
believe.
are you doing with your hex then? Is it just the confusing of people?
Yeah, it's basically like
Duplicity.
duplicity
Blur?
or whatever. No, it's
Oh,
not
yeah.
blur. It's it basically creates like a second version kind of sort of myself, but I guess it is kind of like blur.
Oh yeah, duplicate.
So it's like a mix between the two.
Yeah, it's like a
but
creepy version of Blur.
yeah, it's basically just so like, "Huh, you can't hit me." But yeah,
This was taught to me by the great John Cena.
Kind of like, you know, when Daenerys is just gone across the desert and she's in that city that I've forgotten the name of.
Yeah.
And there's the mages and they just like poof, 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 like around.
The
It's kind of
House
like
of
that.
the Unseen or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's basically
Ah.
Rahimi. Okay,
yeah.
so-
You get a punch and the head just moves. It's just like poof.
That will be my turn though.
Okay, cool. So you do that as you form this hex around you, and this sort of swirling energy appears, and we will move over to our next.
One thing
in
real
line.
quick though, because I just forgot that I had this. This is always active.
Wow, that's really cool.
There are no secrets
So you
from
can
Rahimi.
communicate telepathically with any creature within 60 foot of you. That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's amazing.
That's terrifying.
It's terrifyingly amazing. And as that comes to a close, it is the Siren's go. And the Siren looks over to you, its wings still unfurled, as it reaches out again towards your beloved Nala. And it will attempt to claw at her and grab her in a grapple, which will be... Okay. So, Nala, she reaches out towards you, and you snap out of your delusion as these claws grip into your sides, and she pulls. Could you give me a athletics check, please? To resist the shove, essentially.
Sure.
As she tries to yank you into the depths.
14.
Okay. Unfortunately, she beats you by 1, but I believe it's baned, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So this would technically count as a bane. So could you give me a D4 roll, Prosper?
Okay. It's a 3.
Brilliant. So you feel the strength as this creature is about to yank you off the boat and into the air and no doubt the oceans below. But Prosper's words seem to help you almost, as you feel strong and your feet stick to the ground and you manage to catch yourself at the end of the railing and hold strong as the creature hisses in your ear slightly. And we move on from the Siren to the merfolk as the strange scaled creatures begin to climb aboard on either side of the deck. Near yourself, Rahimi and Talgrath, the two of you are in sort of the center area of the deck, and there's two either side of each of you. The first two of them run directly towards you, Talgrath, and will go for 2 attacks. What's your AC?
It is a 16.
Wow, okay, cool. So both of them miss you as one of them comes in with a trident and spins it around and goes for a stab, and you step to the side. The other one comes immediately in and goes for a punch, and you just bat that aside immediately, easily. This is nothing to you. You've had tridents and barrels thrown at you before, and barrels are a much better weapon. Meanwhile, Rahimi, 2 of them go over to you and aim for an attack, both of them with tridents as they try to stab at you. And that is 12 and a 14. What's your AC?
All right, well,
You've got
I have
duplicity.
to roll any die.
Mhm.
So... Oh my gosh, I put that in the wrong chat. There we go. So the first one will miss.
Brilliant.
The second one will... that was, you said a 12 and a what?
12 and a 14.
Yeah, that one will hit.
Brilliant.
Because both of them would hit, but...
But, okay, so the first one goes in and it hits you, but they look confused as their spear goes directly to your side instead, almost like a stage play where it's just skimmed your armpit and hasn't actually hit you, but they swear they saw themselves pierce you straight through the stomach. The second one looks at them and spins it around, going for a strike with the side of the trident towards your neck, and manages to hit, dealing a mighty 3 damage.
Look, I only have 10 HP, so
I know,
that is a
I know,
mighty
it's
3
a mighty
damage.
3 damage. Oh, thank you, Shax. And at which point, so as the trident smacks you in the neck, you stagger to the side, your nose slightly bloodied by it as it catches you with the metal. And the salty seawater splashing over the sides will cut straight over to Nala, who, upon seeing this thing try and drag you, you're at the edge of the ship, there is Farah next to you, and there is Prosper sort of whispering at your back and singing to you. It's very nice.
Okay. As I sort of snap out of it, I immediately reach for my sword and my shield. I would like to rage first.
Sure.
As this thing's whispering in my ear, I basically yell back in it and try and rip its ear off with my teeth, and then go
Sure.
for a stab with my longsword.
Go ahead.
Fuck.
You go to yell at it, and it whips its head away, and your blade just skims by its front. You see some of the tips of the feathers near its head just sliced off and fly down to the ground slowly. And anything else from you?
No, I'll basically just have my shield up and basically putting my body in front of Farah.
It's beautiful. Okay. Talgrath, your turn, buddy. There's 2 strange, fishy creatures in front of you.
Talgrath, the one that tried to attack him with a spear, he's a simple man. He's just going to punch this thing twice in the throat.
It's very simple.
Mm-hmm.
Efficient, I like it. Go ahead.
A 21
Yeah, that's a
and
hit.
an 18.
Oof, yeah, you barely hit on this.
Mm.
No, you definitely strike, and you strike true and easy as you pull on your spiked knuckles and just go for a good old 1-2 to the throat. And that's enough to take it out, as the first one that you hit, you just... and you see it choke and fall to the ground as it begins to writhe. Its tail is sort of slapping at the deck.
Talgrath
And the other
won't
one
move
looks at
anywhere.
you. With its
Yeah,
trident.
he'll just turn to him with bloodied fists.
They say something that you don't quite understand as it stands and readies its trident for another go. Brilliant stuff. So we move on to Farah, last but not least.
Alright, I'm gonna perform my Crimson Rite. Let me
Okay.
poke that up into the chat. I think I have that somewhere. So basically this will reduce my maximum HP by 1.
Okay. Okay.
And I'm charging this power down into my short sword, summoning the Wrath of the Storm and charging it up.
Sweet.
So there we I'll change my current hit points. So that's, I think, a bonus action, and then I can use my main action for an attack.
Yeah, that is true. Right, give it a go then, please. So as you
Showing.
you summon this
17.
storm around your sword and you swing, and with your 17, you catch it just by the tip as it hits them directly in the shoulder. Could you give the damage, please?
So 6 piercing plus 4 lightning.
Very nice, very nice. That's a solid 10 damage. As you immediately slice through part of its wing, and it seems to flap a bit awkwardly for a moment, and you see the gritted memory streaming now. So hopefully we should now be live. So we'll see that hopefully pop up in a second here. And yeah, we're back. Sorry about that, everybody. That was a whole lot of confusion. But we are back. So just to cover what we missed when we were sadly away, we've had a couple of technical difficulties with the internet, unfortunately, but we've had Farah scream about sashimi and hit strong and go on a tirade about mermaids. We had Prosper turn around and speak some very cutting words across the deck towards one of the mermaids that hit Rahimi the previous round, and it now stands shaken and dazed and confused. And finally, we managed to also have Rahimi just whip one of them directly in the face and deliver a very nasty quip to go along with it. And that is where we were. So we'll continue from there. Anything else, Rahimi? So you've hit this other merperson in the face with this whip, and after that, its head shoots backwards, and it sort of stands barely holding onto its trident.
Can I do, like, with my active telepathy thing, can I just, like, basically use it to do ominous whispers into their minds?
Yeah, you certainly can.
Because that just feels like very witchy and dope, so we're just going to be
that
like...
That does sound witchy and dope, and that's what we're here for. So yeah, by all means, you could do that. So you do witchy dope whispers into their mind as they look dazed and confused and almost drop their trident, but don't. And and at which point we will go to the Siren's turn, as the Siren will this time once again try and whip out with both of its claws this time and as an attack against you, Farah, seeing that you struck it so viciously in the shoulder. So that is a 17 and a 15. Which one's hit?
Does the first one have disadvantage?
It does, yes.
So for the second attack, I will use my reaction protection to impose disadvantage as I put my shield
Brilliant.
up for
so
that one.
In which case, the second attack would only be an 11, which won't be enough to hit you, I believe, Farah.
My AC is 11.
So you win as a defender. Generally speaking, I'll let you take it if you've got equal. So yeah, so the first one hits hard, dealing a mighty 6 damage. The second one whiffs and misses you entirely, as you see Nala place the shield directly in the path of it, and it scrapes across with sparks flying and lighting all of you in the night darkness and the gloom around you. Okay.
Sorry, how much damage was that?
You took 6 damage. It was a very, very harsh blow.
Did you say? Oh.
From what, sorry?
What was the weapon?
Just a claw.
Alright, so you see this claw come in and it just like nails her in the face.
Oof.
And like she's got a whole new set of these red marks and it literally is like blood just dripping down. I don't need a set of gills! But Farah is definitely hurt and very glad as Nala's shield comes down to block that second blow.
And Farah, you speak Aquan, do you? I'm pretty sure you speak the language of merfolk.
I sure do.
So as you say that, a voice comes back in Aquan that you can understand, whereas nobody else can, I believe.
Isn't it primordial overall?
It is Aquan for these specific creatures, for mermaids and merfolk.
I speak primordial.
Yeah, it isn't that, unfortunately. They're not elementals, so unfortunately they are speaking their own language. As,
that's fair. Just checking.
No, it's cool. It's worth a check. And you hear this as you say, "I don't need no gills," as this voice says, "You'll need them for when I drown you." And at that point, we will move on to the next in the order, which is the merfolk. So the one that had its friend brutally killed by you last turn, Talgrath, looks at you, speaking words that again do not hit you properly in the ear as it spins the trident around and goes for a strike directly towards your gut with the pointy end. And on a 17, I believe, hits you, as it will strike you in the gut, dealing 4 damage to you as the bite of the trident hits you bang on in the stomach, your armor only barely managing to defend your guts from it as the points dig in and blood begins to seep out beneath your armor. Still, you've got a lot of fight left in you, and that will be its turn. Meanwhile, on the other side with Rahimi, one of them will go for an attack at disadvantage as it is still hurt by the cutting words of Prosper, and completely misses on a crit fail as they go to attack you and instead whiff straight past your head, and their trident just scatters across the deck about 10 foot away from them. And they
I'll use telepathy to be like, run.
They say things that you don't understand in their voice, but in their mind you hear, sort of as a residual link to it, you just hear, "What are you?" as they run and dive over the side. They're done. They're not dealing with this. No. And the other one looks over and then looks at you angrily as it grits its teeth and swings once again with the trident towards your jaw. And it only gets a 12, so I believe that's a miss with Rahimi.
I was gonna say, that's my AC.
That's fine, in which case that's a miss as it swings forward and scratches across sort of the clothing that you're wearing, some of the buckles of the bags and stuff you have, but it doesn't catch you. And moving swiftly on to Nala.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to rage again because I didn't hit anything and nothing hit me, unfortunately.
Okay.
So I'll use my bonus action to rage, and I'll basically bang the pommel of my sword on my shield to sort of snap the rest of the men out of the panic. To arms, men! Remember your training, and I'll go for another stab.
I miss. And go ahead.
Fuck me! I can't hit anything.
I don't think that's a D&D move, but a
It's
long
only
sword
for playing
attack.
hard.
Bard. Yeah.
Oh,
I was gonna say, it really depends.
not this one, but yeah.
Okay, so unfortunately you swing and you miss as the creature just whips out of the way with its wings and looks at you again angrily as its claws drip with the blood from Farah.
I spit in its face to try and get it to focus on me.
Okay. And at which point it will be Talgrath. You've got the one in front of you. There's the other one you took out immediately. And you can hear the distant fighting of Rahimi, followed by a big splash from off the side of the deck. Seems she's dealt with one.
Okay, that's good. Talgrath is he's again simple man. He's gonna ready his 2 giant fists and plonk them straight in this thing's face.
That's always good. So, as you raise your giant fists and plonk them in the face,
You
could
went
give me
quiet
those attack
again.
checks? Aha! It's always good when it makes me quiet on specifically Zoom.
There we go.
I'll have to figure out why it's doing that. But still, yeah, you go forward and try and clock it twice with the fists. Could you give me the damage, please? Well, the attacks first, of course.
A 21
21
and a 15.
and a 15. Brilliant. So both of those will hit. As you hit twice, could you give me the damage of both?
An
Okay.
8 in total.
On an 8 damage, you punch them twice, and again, you almost take them out as your fists heavily strike into them, one in the jaw, one in the chest, as they're winded for a moment, but they look still ready to go as they cough out some strange color blood from their mouth. And that'll be Farah.
And Nala just hears this bubbling sound as Farah replies in Aquin something that I'm not gonna say. It's nasty.
Put it in chat. Put it in chat.
Let it be known it is nasty and insulting, and
Let it be
the
known.
Sirens appreciate it.
Brilliant stuff.
It's
Okay.
kind of like Dory doing the whale voice combined with like bubbles through water. It's like that kind of about her face.
Oh, it's like a bubbly, weird noise. Okay.
And she, let me think. Can I just try and push this salty wench just in a
Further
fuck off kind of way?
Yeah, you can certainly push this salty wench in a fuck off sort of way. Go ahead.
Get
Give
off
me
my
just
boat.
give me a shove.
That,
So just give me an
like a
athletics.
strength roll?
Yeah, it'd be an athletics basically. As you're just trying
Alright.
to shove them away.
9.
Ironically enough, they didn't roll good enough to even resist that.
Well, they're still baned, aren't they?
They are, that's why.
Yay!
They got a 10, but then they have Bane, so... But yeah, so as you grab them, you feel their strength suddenly pulled from them as you shove, and they sort of spin and pirouette in the air about 5 foot away as they sort of begin to fall down and plummet. And then they steady themselves, but they look back up at you, just annoyed at what you've just done.
Offhand dagger throw!
You know what? You can have advantage for that.
I just love the idea of her just holding it over the end
Nice.
of the boat and just being like, drop.
Yeah, basically that. And as it sort of spins around and readies itself once more and looks at you, your dagger just flies end over end and strikes in its shoulder, and it sort of goes off to the side of it and just looks incredibly annoyed now, about 10 foot down from the boat, looking up at you as this dagger is embedded in its shoulder and is sort of
The
impeding
blade's
its wings.
rusty. I hope you enjoy that.
Oh god.
And I want
looks
to
at
use
you.
my movement since I've pushed her out of melee range to
Yeah.
just back up and ideally bringing Nala with a little bit away from the edge of the ship.
Yes.
But if Nala resists, then
I'll tell you what, if Nala doesn't resist, you can move half your movement speed whilst dragging Nala.
I will probably go only about 5 feet back, but then I'll just push you to go back and.
I just step
stand
out of the way.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Prosper vacates.
Yeah, just like, because otherwise she's just gonna stand on me because I'm stood behind her. So it's like, oh, just
True
yeah,
enough.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So yeah, as you
I'm sorry, I didn't see you there.
People don't.
and we will move on from
like up
that
here.
to good old Prosper actually. So it is your turn.
Okay, seeing that Farah and Nala, like Farah has Nala in hand or Nala has Farah in hand, I'm just kind of like, okay, you got this, strong people. I'm going to turn back around. Have we got any more mer people on board?
There are
Focusing.
currently 2 mer people on board. There is one very injured mer person fighting Talgrath, and one less injured but still looking quite pained mer person fighting Rahimi.
Okay, I'm going to start heading towards Rahimi and just lift my hand and throw it again in Infernal. Just, thou art unfit for any place but hell. And throw out another vicious mockery.
Nice.
I'm going to hurt my
So-
throat doing this. I now appreciate your struggle, Charlie. That's... All
right,
wisdom
so
save.
You say that, they do fail their save again, unfortunately. Well, fortunately for you. And
That's
they
2
look-
points of psychic damage, and they've got disadvantage on the
Yeah,
next
they look
attack.
pained and again dizzy from the words as you spit them out towards them, and you see a bit of blood begin to appear from their eye as they just stand still in front of you, Rahimi, for a moment. They're not quite there, but they're almost gone. And is that everything, Prosper?
I'm so used to playing casters, I don't even know if I can. Can I do an attack as a bonus action with a weapon? Is that a thing?
Not
I don't
unfortunately,
know.
'cause you've been a
I
spell,
don't think I can.
so
You
technically
can
not.
only do that if you took an attack action.
Yeah, if you take an attack action with a standard weapon, so a light weapon of some sort,
Oh,
then
then
you
no.
can,
No,
but-
I'm still heading over there.
Yeah, you would
making
make
my way,
it
like,
to Rahimi,
slowly
no
through
doubt, as
Kuruma,
you
I'm
sort
just
of
like, excuse me.
run over towards and find Rahimi. You're probably about 5-10 foot away from Rahimi, roughly. So you'll be able to make it
Cool.
there next turn easily. And about that time, we'll move over to Rahimi as you see Prosper running across the ship.
Yeah. Just gonna take my whip out again and with the telepathy be like, you should follow your friends. And whip.
They don't get a chance to follow their friends as you whip out the whip again and it strikes them. And as they're sort of bleeding and damaged and you hit them, they collide with the ground, your whip sending them about 5 foot flying as they tumble head over tail and flop to the ground. Nicely done.
Who's next?
And as you say that, you see 2 more sets of hands begin to appear on the edge as they begin to pull themselves over.
Can
And you
I
s-
free action really quick?
Yeah, you can free action whenever you want. They're free.
So I imagine Farah's backed up and she turns and sees what's going on and she sees Rahimi fighting. Who's steering the ship?
Leslie!
And technically it's fine, we dropped anchor.
And we dropped
Good.
anchor, so it's fine.
Yeah, a gentle Leslie is
Okay,
holding this
that's
wheel
right.
and is just kind of looking down and just kind of goes, I've got the wheel.
The end of the ship. Farah's eyes full of right of lightning.
Yeah, lightning strikes behind you and he sees you and he just looks over and goes, oh dear.
Prosper, thaumaturgy.
I'm not helping this. It's already dramatic enough.
But hearing that anchor's been dropped, she comes back to herself and remembers there are mermaids, which is our other favorite thing to obsess about. So back
Exactly.
on task.
And you see these multiple sets of hands begin to pull themselves up and onto deck from the side, as that will be the end of your turn, Rahimi. At which point the siren is not going to pursue you further, and you see the siren fly out towards the rock and lands upon its perch. And as the lightning flashes once more, you can see a massive form underneath the rock that is painted just underneath as a dark shape that goes as far as you can see down into the depths of the ocean.
I don't
And
like it.
Could you give me a perception check, Farah, as you're near that end, Nala, as you're near that end, and you know what? Rahimi, you don't have enemies near you, you can do it, and so can you, Prosper. Talgrath, you've unfortunately got a gentleman in front of you who's still trying to stab you and slash at you, so...
Okey
So
doke.
everybody but Barrel Boy.
I'm gonna use my
Oh.
inspiration. I rolled a 15, but I want to throw an inspiration on that.
Sure, I'll let you do that. So that's a 20.
21.
Cool. Brilliant. 21. Okay, so as you all look, each of you sees this thing beneath the waves, beneath the rock. But one of you, more than any of the rest, recognizes it as a chill runs down your back, Farah, for a moment, and you see this thing beneath the rock, this massive form that seems to dwarf any ship that you have ever seen. And you notice, better than any, as your eyes catch onto it, that this form, you see many shapes of angular and strange-looking facial structure, and many of these eyes that are dully peering out of the ocean, and this form that just drags down, full of tentacles that seem to wind out of each of its different sections of its body and reach deeper into the depths. And it seems to be asleep.
Figure out how to make this shit reverse!
And you see one of its eyes begin to glow a dim green for a moment, and then you hear the siren song once more, and you see the green dull. And that's what you see on your turn. And the rest of you just see this massive form underneath. But for you, Farah, you determine what it might be, and you've heard tales of drowned gods beneath the waves. This looks like big enough, probably, to be one.
We got an outboard motor on this ship by any chance?
Drowned gods enjoy a siren's lullaby, it seems. Reverse the sails!
How do we do that, Mom? Comes across the deck.
I don't know! Figure it out! Do I have to do everything around here?
It's alright, I think I got an
Turn her
idea,
inside out.
says Leslie from on the ship's wheel. Can I do it, miss? Alright, well, we'll move swiftly on to the merfolk's turn. As Leslie considers this, and you stare over lightning strikes once again, and about that time, you see more merfolk begin to crawl over the edge as two more on either side appear and look at you. Rahimi, you see the two of them get back up, and you see they both seem to be wielding different weapons. One has a shield and like a saber-looking sword that looks rusted and worn. The other one has a simple trident and net on it. On the other side, Talgrath, you're joined by two more as they climb up onto the deck and begin to surround you, both of them wielding shields and sabers as they get to either side of you and flank you, as they give you what looks like a smile and get their weapons ready. The injured one looks at you and speaks more words that sound vile in your ear. And they will go for their attacks, as the two that are either side of you, Talgrath, that is 2 misses, so they come aboard, look threatening, and then immediately they both swing towards you, and you deflect their blows with ease. And then the one in front of you goes for an attack and hits you on a 19, as whilst you defend those blows, heroically almost, they just stab you very simply in the gut, dealing 2 damage. I like to imagine you, like, catch the hands of the blades, lightning flashes, and then one of them just goes, ugh. So, that'll be theirs. Meanwhile, Rahimi, the other two that get aboard look at you, and one of them speaks some words in common, it seems, as they say, "Are you the one that they mentioned would speak to the mind?"
Just kind of like telepathically, whatever. Yes, and you should probably leave my ship.
Leave my ship?
Leave my ship!
Change your fate.
The sleeping gods speak to you.
There's a reason that happens. We've determined it. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Is her telepathy side Scottish while her normal speaking voice is...
Okay, but sometimes
take my ship, you can't take my
Italian,
freedom.
Spanish, whatever.
Okay, so as you say that, so you say that to its mind, and it looks at you a bit funny for a moment and goes, "The drowned gods speak to you." And it begins to
No,
turn.
they really don't.
Well, if that's the case, then I guess we'll just kill you.
Try.
And they do. As the two of them will make attacks, and that is a 11, so a miss, and then a 14.
That hits.
That hits. So one of them that was not speaking to you before swings at you, and you see it coming and manage to duck out of the way of its blow, but the second one swings its shield towards you and smashes you in the side, dealing 2 damage as they knock the wind out of you for a moment.
I am officially bloodied.
And they look at you and go, "You look bloodied, and soon you'll be fish food. And we're fish. You'll be our food."
I think you'll find it will be thunderously different.
And with a squint, they end their action. At which point, it becomes Nala.
So how far away is old sea bitch?
20 foot away on the rock. So the island's 20 foot away. The rock itself would probably be about a 25-foot climb. It's a big old rock.
All right, I'll leave that for now because even my whip won't make that distance. So I will go charging on over to probably Rahimi because she looks a little bit more delicate than Talgrath.
Okay, so you run over and join Rahimi and Prosper as you make your way across towards one of the two, the one that just missed with the trident.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
you
basically
see Rahimi
go as
jarred
he's
by a shield bash on the other side.
Yeah, as the one's like outstretches trident, I basically want to take my longsword and try and go up his armpit and just slice down his ribs.
Sure, give me that attack, please.
Come on.
Wow,
Hallelujah.
nice. Okay, cool. Give me the damage, please.
Okay. So
And that
that's,
will kill it. How do you
11.
want to kill it?
I basically want to keep carving through, so just take my sword and with one swoop, just like bisect it so that its face just collapses.
Oh,
And then turn to the other one, like teeth gritted.
nice. So you slice on through, and Rahimi, where you're stood, sort of bashed, your head whips across, and you immediately see one of the merfolk just almost slip away with a slick noise and slap to the deck with this very wet and scaly and slimy body. And you do see Nala next to you, wielding a very shining blade in the sort of night sky as this crash of lightning hits once again, illuminating you. And the other one looks a bit intimidated at that.
Told you it would be thunderous.
And we will move on to Talgrath at that point. Talgrath, there's 3 of them around you. You're all alone.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's fine.
God.
Jack's behind him!
Leslie to the rescue.
Oh, I don't fight.
Cannon fodder.
What about your training?
I just steer the ship!
I'm purely decorative. Irish, apparently.
I change
Talgrath.
sometimes.
Talgrath, not being a fan of these numbers, aims to dwindle them slightly. It's worked so far. He's going to punch the one that he was fighting before.
Okay.
Go just straight for a club fist right around the side of its face.
Sure.
And will then turn his attention to the other one, I guess on his left.
Yeah, sure.
Pick one.
There's lefty,
And
righty
go for
in
an
front of you,
uppercut
you
to
know?
the jaw.
Okay, so you go for the first punch. Give me the attack, please. So the one that's injured sees it coming. It knows your ways. It's seen 4 of your punches by this point and taken one of them at the very least. And it ducks out of the way as your fist whips past it, the rain sort of parting on it. And you swing around and go for an uppercut against the second one. Give me the attack, please.
15.
That does hit as you uppercut the second one in the jaw, slipping past its shield and directly smashing it in the face. Give me the damage. 4.
4.
So you hit it, and you hear a cracking as you see some of its teeth shatter in its mouth from the blow.
Very
It
good
spits
question.
out some shards.
Can I now second wind? Because I've used a second attack.
I believe... I think you can. Yeah, it's a reaction, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it? I'm unsure.
It's a-
We'll say yes.
The free
Okay.
thing.
Yeah,
gonna
I'm pretty sure
second
it's
wind
free.
as
I haven't
well,
got the
then.
rule in front of me right now, so I assume as you can, because that's usually what it's used for.
I'm going to second wind then.
Good.
You should have saved it.
On an 11 on your second win, you got a full 10 on your second win. Brilliant stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So you begin to sort of pump full of energy, and you sort of that adrenaline fills you, and you're ready to take more. You've been in worse
Oh, yeah.
fights in bars than this.
I fought tougher barrels than these guys.
And tougher barrels have won. So
I mean, the sad thing about that is that's true.
yeah, exactly. So moving on from Talgrath, we go to Farah. So
Seeing me old mate having a good old fight, I come charging down the ship. And I want to come attack some of those mermaids swarming my friend.
sure.
And I yell out to Talgrath, "Do you remember the Bermuda Triangle?"
The what?
Never mind! So here is my short sword attack.
That is unfortunately a miss.
I
Second
think
attack,
no
please.
flanking rules in this game.
I give a good +2 to flanking, but even then it won't do it, unfortunately.
And I pull out my second dagger because I only have 2. And I'll use my offhand dagger attack.
That's a good hit. That's a very good hit.
Shame.
Nice. So you
Palpable
swing,
hit.
and it spins, and sort of the sword scrapes across the shield, and it seems to think that's it. And as it does, you stab it straight in the side, and it's like, ah! All of a sudden, pain and the blood seeps out, and you smell that familiar tang of mermaid blood.
There's a drowned god beneath the rock, Talgrath. We must defeat this sea scum, and then that beast.
So we
Okay.
dive in after fighting these and beat it to hell.
I was thinking I'd load you into the cannon. And she's like ducking and dodging the attacks of the mermaids as we have this conversation.
And on that note, we go to Prosper.
If Prosper heard any of that, Prosper would have a panic attack.
You probably do. Farah's not quiet.
there's very much a moment of not thinking about it, not breathing, just focus. Okay. How many are left on deck?
So
And are they all around Talgrath?
Not quite. There is one next to Rahimi, and there are 3 near Talgrath.
There's kind of a moment of
Go to Talgrath!
okay. And Frostbite is going to turn around, seeing the 3, kind of just steering clear of Farah a bit, kind of like not thinking about it, not thinking about it. You've said scary things, so and going to run up close to Talgrath as I can get without being within range of anything scary, and it's just going to stop and be like, I've heard it said that people come into our lives for a reason, and give Talgrath a bardic inspiration die.
Good.
Quietly panic.
Why do I get the angry one? What did I do?
Because you're an angry
They're
boy.
very scared. They're like barely singing because it's like, oh, I just want to go in the crow's nest. I'm not going to go in the crow's nest. And is going to like sprint and then take a couple of steps forward and try and stab one of them in the back with a rapier.
Go ahead.
Like ducking behind them, like, ugh.
Which one are you going for? The one that Farah's hitting, the one that's nearly dead, or the one that is completely unharmed?
Probably the one that's completely unharmed because
Okay,
Frost
no
is
problem.
not intelligent.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's a 15.
That's a hit.
Yay!
So you step to the side and go for a good old stab, and you hit, and it pierces through, and you hit a nice hole into this thing. As blood seeps out from it, it lets out a pained grunt and snarl. At
Very
you.
much from the back. I'm stabbing from the back, like,
Yeah.
don't look at me.
Don't look at me.
So
And
yeah, 3 points of piercing damage.
brilliant stuff.
Yeah.
So you see it hit, and the blood begins to seep through and hit the deck. It's going to need a good scrubbing later. And about that time, we'll move over to Rahimi.
Okay, so there's one in front
One.
of me, right?
Yeah,
Are there still 3 by
with
Talgrath?
Talgrath, yes.
Is there a way that I could move like beside Talgrath and then use Thunder Wave? Because it's a 15-foot cube, and I just want to get the douchebags
Yeah, let's do it.
off the ship.
Sure, let's do it, by all means. Nala would
Dope.
stop you from getting opportunity attacked anyway as you sort of move back a bit and try and aim for that. It sort of swings, and Nala protects you from the blow as you step back and go for your Thunder Wave. Go ahead.
Bless. So they are going to have to make Constitution saves.
Okay, so
DC is 12.
they both don't make that for the 2 that you're getting. You're getting the back 2, are you? Or are you getting all of them in this? Just
I
so
was
can
trying to get
check.
all 3.
All 3. Yeah, with that spread, you could. And I'll tell you what, because your allies are currently in... I won't make you have friendly fire on this as you strike it out and you cast this, and all of them fail their save on this as they all rolled above a bloody 10, and they all just seem to explode from the sheer noise and the force that you push out there as those of you fighting these things are just hit by chunks of mermaid.
And I turn around to the one that was like behind me that took the attack at me as I moved. Told you it would be thunderous. You should leave.
And on their turn, they leave.
Can I just
Which would pull us out of
cut them
initiative
down
for
anyway?
now. So yeah, you can cut them down anyway as they're leaving.
Opportunity
Go ahead,
attack.
opportunity attack. So
Yeah.
give me that attack check, please, then with your long sword.
Nah, they can leave.
Um,
Nah, I'll let him leave.
yeah, they're terrified
I'm
as
just
you
like,
swing.
psych.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, that's right, you better run. Stupid fake out that people do.
Yeah. So as the as the merman charges off deck and back into the ocean with a big whoosh below, and you all go out of initiative order for now. You're stood on the
Farah
ship.
goes running after that merman.
You go running after to the
Don't
edge
let
of the
the
boat.
tails escape!
It's already in the water. Do you want to go swimming after it? Like,
No, don't be stupid, Stephen.
I don't know the depths of which you will go for this. Okay.
Calling it real quick.
Appreciate
Is anyone really
the level of
hurt?
that pun.
'Cause I have one ability to stop someone hurting, and then I can't. Is anyone really hurt?
Talgrath's full HP, he's fine.
I have
Rahimi
5 hit
and
points.
I are bloodied. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, Rahimi.
Which one of you is more hurt?
Rahimi.
Okay.
I was gonna say, I have 5 hit points. I don't know how many Farah has.
6.
Enough.
In which case, I'm gonna
Enough.
go over to Rahimi and kind of like really kind of awkwardly like pat her shoulder, like trying not to touch anything bloody or squishy, just kind of like, and she'll be like, look around, how lucky we are to be alive right now.
Oh.
And I'm going to cast Healing Word. So if it would let me.
She's like, Azemar.
Oh, why are you not clicking? Oh wait, hold on. There we go.
Yeah, you have to go to the window.
Yeah, there we go. Okay,
Oh,
so you
that
have.
put me at full. Dope.
Nice.
Yay.
And
That put me at full 1.
And that's all my spells.
Farah's gonna turn to Talgrath and go, "Are you ready to go ashore?"
Talgrath stretches and gets into his barrel shape, ready to go in.
This is what you've been training for. I understand it now. And we'll go
Just
below
like, battle.
decks to our
battle.
brand new cannon that is pointing in the correct direction for land ho. Because this is too good an idea not to do it. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Just chunks come out the other end of the cannon.
No. Prosper's just gonna go press their face against the mast and have a little like panic.
I'll leave this up to them.
Oh, you're gonna blow his ass apart.
The black girthy one.
Ollie!
Can we just call that cannon Enema from now on?
No.
Because previously we had 2 cannons, right? One on starboard, one on port, and our other one is pointing forwards, which is the direction of the rock.
The other one's called Suppository.
That's yeah. Thanks for that, Fallen Stars. Yeah, I was apparently muted for
I
that.
heard you're gonna blow his ass apart, so I was like, okay.
No.
Can we call it DM slide?
Okay, you can call it that. You can call it that. You can slide on into the DMs if you wish to, Talgrath.
Oh,
I'll get the butter ready.
I think as much as Talgrath would like to ride this black girthy thing, he's going to pass.
Okay.
Tal,
Okay.
this is what
With
you've
the
trained
post-
for. This is what all the barrels were about.
You
I
see,
appreciate it, but I enjoy living too.
you see in your mind, Talgrath, a montage of all the barrels you've ever climbed into. The first one, when you were young, it was full of pickles. It was quite gross, but you felt warm in there, safe. The pickles brushed against you nicely.
Nope, nope, nope,
Right.
nope.
And you moved through each of the barrels, some of them nice, full of wool ones. That one was very nice. You felt about keeping that one, but you didn't, on account of it not being your barrel, and you being arrested for it.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, the last barrel you found yourself in, locked in, nice and safe. You've been placed in there by the people who'd given you that bet the previous night. And you climbed out, and you fell. And you look at the cannon, and it looks just like a barrel. Like a big, glorious barrel of iron.
You
Right,
know,
well-
if you'll not do it, Talgrath, I'll do it.
No, it's fine.
Something needs to be done.
While
I've done this for my entire life. I think I can do it.
while they've been having this conversation, can I have like in just fury just been picking up like a massive sack of like actual cannonballs and just begin loading the
You
cannon?
can load the cannon
like,
as
they're
I
like,
consider
no,
this.
you should, and I'm like, no, this should.
There's no
just
room for
face
balls in
first
there,
the mouth.
Nala.
I'm currently like trying to comfort Prosper.
Nope. 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 All insane.
Just like small circles rubbed in the back.
As Nala loads
Causing
one of
them
those
to press
cannonballs,
even harder into the mass.
Farah will place her well-worn hands on top of Nala and say, I won't ask this too often because I know it's a stretch, but I need you to trust me, Nala.
All right.
All right, Talgrath.
In the cannon I go.
No.
Talgrath,
Yeah.
you step forth. You place your hands
DM,
upon
can
the
I make
cold
a
iron.
devil's bargain?
Yes. I'll always accept
I will-
bargains with the devil.
Give you something. I will give you some of the storm right that is in my sword and decrease my maximum HP by an additional point to charge up this cannon to help Talgrath in his journey.
I'll give you it. So, the cost is
Nice
Talgrath's
knowing you,
life.
Talgrath.
It was nice.
No.
Do you have a backup character just to make sure?
I didn't, but I will do now.
Yeah, get thinking. So as we load
Every
you into
time
the
we see
cannon,
a
we
barrel,
consider
we'll
it.
fondly remember you.
Yeah. Okay, so as you climb into the cannon, the cold iron pressed around you. For a moment, you don't think you'll be able to squeeze in there, but you know what? You've dealt with smaller barrels than this before, and you've managed. And you climb on in and contort yourself into the cannon. And you get ready, fists ahead of you, head facing out towards the winds and the cold rains and the thunder and lightning that is slashing all the way down and splashing everywhere that you can see this water. And there is this lightning that is lighting up your path, and you see the jagged rock and the very sort of almost enchanting form of the siren. And it's about that time that you feel lightning, electricity on your hindquarters, passing through the barrel, charging you up. It invigorates you. You feel energized. And then there is a bang. There is a bang that is louder than anything you've ever heard. It's your bang. As you fly out at the end of the cannon. And you sail off towards it. And Farah, I'm going to have to get you to make me a range attack check to see if you actually even hit the target.
Can I? Because we're doing it together. Can me and
The power of friendship, yeah, you can do it together.
yeah, power
I'll give
of
you any
love.
advantage you want
hard
right
can
now.
it be to hit something the size of an island?
Well, we're aiming for the siren, I think.
Oh, I thought you were aiming for the.
Yeah, waiting for the island. If I take out the siren, I will be doubly pleased.
Oh no.
Bye, Talgrath.
Bye. It's been nice knowing you all.
Alright, I've changed this to dex, so it's a range attack.
Yep.
I feel like Prosper and Rahimi just have no freaking clue that this
We
is
have
happening.
no idea what's going on. Possibly she's communing with the
30-20.
maps right now.
Never was there a more perfect roll.
Okay. On a dirty
Oh
20.
my goodness.
You've got mute, Steve.
You're now mute for us. Hold on.
No. Oh yeah.
Oh my.
Ooh.
I mean, I was
Things
not
are happening.
speaking, which might be why.
Ah.
Ah.
That'll do
I
it.
mute when I don't speak.
Your
Okay.
mouth was moving. It's confusing.
Yeah, for some reason Zoom's lagging my camera, which is a strange one. I'll figure that out later. But you climb in, you take aim, you fire. The cannon roars. Talgrath, you're shot out faster than you've ever moved before. You tumble in the air as you very quickly go towards the rock. And I'd like to... Could you make me a quick D10 check, please? I just want to see how lucky you are here.
Are his boots on fire? Wait, hold on. Nala loaded cannonballs as well. Are the cannonballs following him? Oh no!
I got a 3.
Wait. Talgrath, you have inspiration, right? DM inspiration.
I know,
Yeah, you,
but if
And
I'm going
Bardic.
to,
Not DM, Bardic. Sorry.
yeah, you have a D6 that you can add
If-
to something.
if I'm going to try and hit the mermaid, though, it's probably going to be an attack roll I want to hit.
Oh yeah. There is
I
that.
like your spirits and your priorities.
Mm,
Okay, alright. So, by my improv calculations, you're flying towards them at a very quick speed. We'll call it fast. And, and you're moving with blistering speed. Your face is sort of like the skin is rippling and pulling back, just like in a cartoon. And it's about that time that you're also struck by lightning and you're set on fire. And Talgrath, take 5 damage.
Okay, I can
As
deal with that.
on fire with cannonballs following you quite closely behind as you look back and you see them either side of your head,
like a
moving with
little
you
squadron.
like a little squadron.
This is a hell of an image.
You see, only for an instant, this siren, this creature, look towards you, and its eyes widen as you collide into it. And can you give me 10d6 damage, please?
I've got Don't Stop Me Now playing in my head, and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Burning through the sky,
It's a
200
total of
degrees.
32.
Okay, so you hit this thing at incredible speed with your body.
Just like a little puff of feathers, just like.
and as you hit the creature, yeah, almost immediately
Bird strike.
is hit by you. You see feathers fire off of it. It is lit afire by your motion and movement as you're a flaming ball of half-orc. And you strike into it, and as it twists away, another cannonball hits it in the side, and it explodes over you.
Goodness gracious,
And you
great
land.
balls of Talgrath.
You land on the tip
Lord.
of this jagged rock as it kind of juts out into the air. And as you do, you take half that damage.
Relentless.
Yeah, I have Relentless. I technically survive. I have 1 HP.
Bless half-orc.
It's like you're the good one to fire out of a
Oh,
cannon.
goodness.
All I could think of, like, when the bird siren thing exploded was, did you order original or extra crispy?
Oh my god.
They may not be able to see it, but Talgrath, from whatever like crevice he's currently in on the rock, is just gonna hold a thumbs up.
So you see a green thumb appear atop the rock, and you only see it because lightning perfectly paints the scene behind him as there's these roiling dark waves, a jagged rock that juts up, and a broken half-orc with a thumb up on a rock,
I would say that almost feels like Terminator, just...
basically.
Prosper
And
just has their
Farah.
face to the mask, like, I'm in my happy place, I'm in my happy place, I'm in my happy place.
Farah, seeing that valiant, successful green thumb, begins just chanting, Talgrath, Talgrath, in like a mix of Aquan and Common, because she's just so excited that it worked.
And the rest of them, the crew all begin to shout, Talgrath, Talgrath, as well. And Leslie goes, Talgrath, from where he is.
Louder, Leslie!
Prosper looks up from the mask,
Wait.
like,
Talgrath.
Talgrath
is
is what?
Talgrath?
What happened? Where's
Yeah!
Talgrath?
What is going on?
Why are you shouting? Hello? Why are you shouting?
Talgrath?
Talgrath.
Farah come running back up on deck and say, Talgrath, oh!
Oh, that's
not very
rude.
No, I mean, he's on the rock! Look!
How do you get
And she
over there?
points at the short sword.
Wait, hold on.
Just goes to the side and peers over, like,
You do see the thumb
Was
kind of
that
shaking
the
in the
cannon
wind.
fire I heard?
You heard our big boom.
She asked me
You
to trust
fu-
her, and this is the result.
I mean, is it just this thumb? Where's the rest of him?
How do we get him back?
All of him, preferably.
We
Right.
got a dinghy!
I go and grab like a rowing boat and basically
Yeah, the
start-
lone goat gets lowered for you by the crew. Whoever wants to
Wait
get on
for
that
me,
can.
Nala!
Come on.
Who's wanting to get on the rowing boat?
No.
If I leave the ship, I think that Farah will lose her absolute shit, so
I
I'm going
don't,
to and go to the wheel.
I don't want to point out the obvious, but the big, murky, deep monster god thing's still out there.
Shh, no words now, Talgrath. You're just an orc on a rock.
At least I'm just an orc and a half orc on a rock. Okay, I'm not mush on a rock.
Yeah, that's a very good point. But yeah, the dark shape is still underneath
so-
the rock.
Who knows about the creepy thing? Because Farah told Talgrath
Farah.
about the creepy thing, and I heard her say something about the creepy thing.
Yeah, you can give me an intelligence check,
Al-
see if you can.
So Nala and Rahimi don't know.
I think
No,
I think
Rahimi
Rahimi knows from
Yeah.
previous shit.
Rahimi
But
has a
I
suspicion.
don't think she knows that I don't think she knows that it's there right now.
No. You
Prosper's
had a
pretty much
suspicion of
hoping-
something under there, I think,
Yeah.
but like you didn't entirely know what it was. So
Prosper's hoping it was just kind of battle influenced crazy coming out of Farah, and it's just kind of going nope, in denial, firm denial, but staying on the ship.
Okay. So you begin to row out towards the ship. And as you do, you make it slowly towards there. And Talgrath, as you sort of look over it with your eye that are very dry right now, you see this sort of boat coming in with a little lantern hanging and lighting the way. It seems your friends are coming to collect you. And as you think that, you all hear a very strange noise. It echoes through the ocean and rumbles the boat. The waves rock and shake the ship, and the rowing boat almost topples, but you keep it controlled. And Nala and Farah, as you're on the boat, you see what looks like an uncountable number of eyes begin to just light up beneath the waves as they all turn to look at you. And this massive form beneath the waves writhes, some tentacles forming and pushing through the ocean, rising tens of feet into the sky.
In Aquin, I begin singing What Do You Do with a Drunken Sailor?
Okay, could you give me a performance check, please?
I sure can, with all of my charisma. Maximum charisma. 17!
Good job. Very good job.
What do you do with a drunken sailor? Blub, 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 blub.
I'm
glub,
looking
glub,
at
glub
I'm
bit
looking at
gets it.
Farah like she's absolutely batshit insane. I'm like,
I mean,
As
what's
far
Isn't
as
that how
I'm
you
going.
normally look at Farah?
So,
Lie in the blub, blub.
and as you say that, a voice begins to creep into your mind, Farah, and it's not Pete this time. As you hear, that is a good song. I like it.
It's my favorite. Blub, blub.
Your mind has not broken when I have spoken to you. What are you?
That's a good question, but I'm rather curious about that. In regards to yourself, if you don't mind me asking, blub, blub.
Right. It does not have a name, but it was once drowned and left.
Mermaids, blub, blub.
Yes, mermaids, blub blub.
Terrible, blub, blub creatures, blub, blub.
Yes, blub blub, it was blub blub. It's Sage trying to approximate your language. The creature that flies with thunder and lightning behind it, what is it? It freed me.
Oh, you mean Talgrath?
Talgrath, it says, and you see it begin to shift as the rock rumbles and begins to topple Talgrath. Could you give me a very quick dexterity saving throw, please?
Yeah.
But you
sure,
can't always
one of
very
them.
fragile.
Aren't you all?
You know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to use my bardic inspiration. Just in case.
Okay. Very nice.
That'd be a
So,
mighty 16.
as you begin to slip off the side of the rock, you catch onto it with your fingers and hold yourself up as the rock just twists and topples into the ocean, and you land on an edge that is still floating as you see many tentacles begin to writhe above it, and from them, some of the suckers seem to have eyes that appear in between them. And they look at you. And you feel a presence in your mind. Could you give me a very quick intelligence saving throw, please?
Why'd it have to be intelligence? A 14.
You keep your sanity as
Woo!
you hear a voice in your mind that comes through. Creature of lightning and fire, you freed me. I owe you a gift. What does it seek?
Have you got a compass?
That would be the best one. Can I have a compass? Yes. I offer you
Or like a
untold
really,
secrets and you want a
really,
compass.
really
Fine.
stylish barrel. Like, you know,
Don't
nice
tempt me.
leather interior,
Do not
white
tempt me
clean,
by
etc.
an amazing barrel. I'm always looking for more strength, I guess, but
More
depends what you're offering.
I could give you something comparable to strength. There was a boat that once passed over me. I didn't like it, so I took it. It had something interesting aboard. Climb into the waters, and I shall gift it to you.
All right.
All right.
Talgrath will go into the waters then.
You look deep into the waters, and you go in. And as you do, let me just find this group.
Look deep into the water.
Look
There
deep
are many
into the
things
parka.
in here. Yes.
So, you go into the water, and you feel it begin to rush into you, and these slick, large tentacles wrap around you and drag you deeper in, and you feel water rushing into your nose, your mouth, everywhere it can, and begin to drown. But as you do, and as your head begins to become light, you feel something wrapped around your wrists before it lets you go. And the rest of you see a drowning body of Talgrath just bloop back onto the surface of the water.
Never get in the water when there's mermaids around. Blah, blah. Wait.
While she's saying that, I just dive off the edge and go in.
Nala, no!
Prosper's just like leaning over the side of the ship, proper pointing and hyperventilating.
Yeah, there are these large tentacles near you that are currently got little eyes in some of the little suckers that are staring at all of you. The crew are freaking terrified. They're all stood there just like...
I'm at the wheel, like, what's going on?
Mr. Robinson, your accountant, is stood on deck with you, Rahimi. He's next to you and you never notice. The gentleman stands in his suit, the rain not touching him or wetting him, his head very bald and shined as usual, and his ginger moustache curled perfectly, as he looks over and simply goes, "Well, it seems they've found some sort of dead god beneath the waves that is gifting them with some sort of gifts. It seems very simple and straightforward."
That's promising.
Yes.
I think we should get them back and raise anchor and fuck off.
Yes, we should do that. By the way,
Strangled
Rahimi,
gas.
the books weren't perfectly kept. There were 3 tins of beans missing. See to it that people are punished appropriately for such atrocities.
Sure thing. I will tell the captain.
Yes,
She's not
says
telling
the accountant before he just vanishes from sight like dust in the wind. As your accountant goes back to his eternal job.
Why is he creepier than the thing made of eyeballs?
Right?
Accountants. I couldn't say that one of my
Legitimately the
friends did.
scariest
Real
thing I've had
terror.
all night.
It's like,
Okay.
why is he on deck? Get back to your room.
We filed our taxes, damn it. So, you climb in, Nala, and you manage to grab Talgrath, who is bobbing on the surface of the water currently.
Yeah, I'll swim back. I'll basically be like doing the one. Do you know like the Link swim in Zelda, where he's like doing the one?
Yeah, the lifeguard swim.
I'll climb back on the boat and I'll basically like grab him around the stomach and just like a Heimlich maneuver all the water out.
There's a lot of water that comes out of you, Talgrath. It's
Squeezing
painful.
like a sponge.
It's not nice. But you do have these neat wraps around your arms now. They're these sort of very nice looking, very strong looking wraps on both of your wrists. And you feel they're completely waterproof as well.
Well, I hope that was worth it to get some pretty pieces of cloth around your wrists.
I'm sure it was.
Salt stings on burns, doesn't it? I
You are
say as I
mostly
just scoop
burned.
up a little bit of water and just drop it on.
I don't see you being fired out of cannons and living.
Farah, your
Oh, that's
ammunition
why I
has
don't do
returned
it.
to your boat.
Come on.
My
let's
good
do that.
friend, Blub Blub. Are you out there, Blub Blub?
I am. Sorry,
good.
I was distracted. I was trying to understand your primitive language.
I'm speaking mermaid, blub blub.
Exactly, blub blub.
Oh, you're right. I don't like it either. Right. As I was saying, it's just what's coming. My friends and I are looking for a way away from dark tides.
Is that the strange
And your
settlement?
rock seems to be a landmark that gets in the way.
Yes, my prison.
Well, now you're free. Could you free us? Just give us a little push in the right direction.
I can free you. All of you.
Oh, red flags, more red
I don't want
you
you
Deal.
freed from this mortal coil.
Very well.
Just to
the deal
clarify,
is struck, the
I
bargain
want to be out
set.
alive.
I will
Ooh,
be back.
Farah's gonna thrust her hand into the water to make the deal.
Yeah, a like tentacle
No!
comes out and kind of wraps around it and shakes. There's eldritch slime on your hand, and it then seems to disappear as it begins to sink deeper into the ocean, and you see the
I
tentacles.
thought you meant my hand then. I'm very attached to my hand, Stephen.
Not your hand.
Okay.
And you feel the ship begin to move, those of you on it,
Oh no.
as it lifts slightly.
Okay, and Prosper is now lying face down on the deck. Like, nope.
The crew is screaming. They're trying to set the sails or unset them. They don't know what to do. They're pulling the anchor up. They have no idea what to do right now.
Rahimi's just kind of
Thaumaturgy
like,
just shouting like, everyone just stay still.
yeah, and Rahimi's like using telepathy to just like, just say soothingly calm things like, everything will be alright. It's fine. We're going to survive. Please do not worry. If you are scared, go below decks. It is safer there.
Nothing as
In the
soothing
upright
as
position.
The entire crew, aside from Leslie, make their way downstairs into the lower decks. They're all terrified of this. Leslie, on the other hand, stands there calmly and is like, "Am I still needing to, steer and
No.
stuff?
She
or
took
am I-"
the wheel long ago. He could go.
Oh, well, I was just holding it.
No, I appreciate it. I really do.
Right.
But you
yeah.
can go now if you want to be
Alright.
safe.
Yeah, I should probably do that.
Okay, go.
All right. Leslie, smelling still of salted caramel, makes his way down below the decks, his exquisitely smooth beard smoother from the rain, if anything. As he makes his way down, he goes, "Oh, that was a bit disconcerting, wasn't it?" As he goes under deck.
the most
Fearless.
fearless man.
And
to ever
those of
exist.
you on the lifeboat are lifted by a single tentacle that writhes and lifts you onto deck. And those of you on the deck still, so just to play a character at this point, you see a large, thick appendage come onto the ship and just let this boat just slide onto the deck before it goes away.
Thank you.
Prosper is still just lying face down in the prone position, just like, nope.
So glad the crew was not up here for that.
I'll see
But
to
don't
it
say
you
it's not
arrive
happening.
somewhere safe.
Prosper!
Nope.
Oh,
Are you
I don't
injured?
say
sorry,
it's
there's a
not
giant
happening.
sea creature trying to talk to us. What were you saying there, buddy?
Just like, I am a
I
piece
believe-
of wood, I'm not here.
I believe he said they've gone somewhere safer.
No, I said I can take you somewhere safe, but
Oh.
scared one. Why
I
are
don't
you
hear
afraid?
anything.
Do not mind, I will speak into your mind.
Oh,
I know that trick.
Yes, me too.
oh,
I don't.
just scared noises against wood. Nah.
Your captain has signed you all up. I will take you somewhere better, somewhere away from dark tides.
Get closer to the mic.
Never.
Okay.
I will take you away from here, from dark tides, and somewhere different, where you can get different work, because you primitive things seem to enjoy work.
I mean, sure.
I know you
Musicians
don't
are
like it. I
sure.
can read your mind, cowardly one.
Yo, please don't. There's not a lot there.
I know.
Yeah, I like what I have.
Yes.
Uh,
I will see to it that you leave this place. But you owe me. Your Thunderman. He has been gifted for his saving of me, for his freeing of this being from this trap. But I free you from your own, little fish. And one day I will need repaying.
I haven't signed anything.
You think I care for signatures?
Nope.
I
Would you
don't
like
even
Mr.
have
Robinson?
hands.
just curls up into a ball.
And as it says this, you feel the ship pulled back and tilted slightly.
Little ball slide.
I've seen this scene in Titanic.
Before you begin to fly, as you are thrown into the air like a giant football by this strange being beneath the waves. And after a short time, as you hit the apex of your flight, quote unquote, it smashes into something that almost feels solid, and it jars the entire ship for a moment. Before you find yourself sailing on calm seas again, as if you weren't in the air at all. And the sun is above you, breaching through the clouds, and there's less clouds here, less than before. And you look out across the ocean, and in the far distance, you can see what looks like a port, and you can see what looks like fishing boats. And you're muted, Farah.
I know. It's intentional. Carry on.
Okay, cool. And you all find yourself on your ship, safe and sound. And you have these wraps on your wrist, Talgrath, that feel tight and strong.
Can someone turn down the lanterns? It's very bright out here.
It's the sun, Talgrath, the sun!
One.
It actually exists.
Is that Dark Tides?
It is not.
Oh no.
It looks
Two.
entirely
You forgot
different.
the librarian. Oh,
No!
bother.
What?
You really wanted to get off
Don't we all?
of Dark Tides.
And on that note, we'll call the
Yes,
session.
that's what I meant.
Prosper's just army crawling below deck, like nope.
And on that note, we'll call the session. As you arrive in this strange new ocean, around you, you can see mists roiling thick behind you that seem to reach up into the skies and block it. But ahead of you, the sun and a strange fishing village. And that is what we'll call it for today. So thank you very much for sticking around, everybody. Really sorry for the technical difficulties that we had in the middle there. That was a journey. And thank you for sticking around, those of you who've come. And those of you who've joined us since, welcome. Thank you. And we're going to go around. We're going to see who these people are, these wonderful people we're playing with. They'll let you know who they are and what their favorite moment of this session was. So we'll shoot over to our favorite pirate with the accent that kills her throat, Farah.
Oh, it's me. All I'm singing in my head right now is My Little Island in the Sun. My little...
Hi!
Hi!
Heat
Exactly.
wave. This is my island in the sun.
And as we have this Muppet Treasure Island moment, I can only say that my favorite part of this game is how incredible my castmates are and how amazing Hollow is for putting up with my bullshit. So many parts of today were really cool. Just Rahimi being a badass, chasing everyone off the ship, Nala slamming that shield in the way and taking charge, Talgrath and the cannon, which just mwah! And Prosper being just amazing. I love Prosper's characterization so much, and just I'm so happy to be on the ship and we escape. And yes, it's beautiful. And I am at FrostFrmFire on the Twitters. I am the Twitch director for Encounter Roleplay. just got announced this weekend, so it's very exciting. Busy working on a whole new season of stuff over there that will start in September. In the meantime, I'm here hanging out with Hollow and friends. I think this weekend on Saturday we will be journeying back to unhallowed Metropolis, where I play the Lady Faye Dunmire, socialite, philanthropist, founder of the NHS. Maybe that could be about to happen. I don't know.
It could be.
And just galvanistic engineered genius. Me and this train, we're gonna make things happen. We're gonna make things work. So yeah, that's me. I'm super excited to be here. Thank you so much. Love you all greatly over in chat. We'll see you soon.
And Rahimi.
Hello, I play Rahimi, the half-orc witch. I am Banjalerp pretty much everywhere. If you see Banjalerp, it is likely me. But yeah, oh man, like this game is something else, and I am having so much fun with it. But hands down, my favorite moment was 100% the one with lightning and fire that follows. Just my goodness, the image I had in my mind of that was just especially because he has that red hair flying behind him too. So I'm just like, oh yeah. But yeah, no, just this entire crew. I love how we mesh in such a weird, like, quilted, mishmashed way. It's like one of those weird granny square blankets that has nothing that matches, but it works. Love it.
Yeah, basically that. And yeah, no, thank you very much as usual. And yeah, definitely check out.
Oh.
Yep.
One more thing. The witch class is from Mage Hand Press.
There we go.
And technically 2 more things. And also, if you're in Edmonton, August 9th through the 11th, come visit me at Animathon. I am at table A86.
Brilliant stuff.
That's it.
That's awesome. It's awesome. I was about to mention the witch class from Mage Hand Press, which you should definitely check out. And we'll move on to Talgrath, who is looking very confused right now.
Yeah, I'm very confused. Sorry. It's all
You know what?
sinking
You've
in.
been
what
shot
just
out of a
happened.
cannon.
That's
You're
all
allowed
it
to be
is.
confused.
It's okay to be a bit shell shocked after today.
That's
In
been
the
a bit of a
literal
blast.
Basically
sense.
shrapnel.
Yeah.
And before
So
that's the
I-
solution to every boss now.
Just fire
Don't tell
Talgrath
me.
at it.
Once a day. Just
The
once a
secret
day.
weapon.
We've got so many things we need to try, like trebuchet, giant crossbow. Just
Wait till one of the casters
Nala
gets
just
catapult, it'll be
throwing
fine.
them,
I will yeet him if he likes.
Like,
Yes,
like,
please.
what is
Okay.
it? It's the fastball special, just like throw him.
I like the idea that we're starting Talgrath's stunt career right here, right now.
Yeah.
I don't
We
think
need to
he
get
can
him, like
top
a little
that.
Evil Knievel helmet and cape.
Okay, but yeah, sorry. So, Talgrath.
So, hi, I'm Talgrath. I'm Dan. You can find me on Twitter at F91Vanguard. What?
I'm pointing to your thing. Don't worry about it.
Our names are down
Oh.
below us.
Okay. I don't have it up, so I don't know. It just saw you giving it one of these.
Just throwing out signs. You know?
As for me, my favourite moment is Farah freaking out at who's at the helm of our ship after she returned. The poor soul is in for so much crap, and I feel so badly for him.
Poor Leslie. Poor Leslie. Poor lovely Leslie. And yeah, thank you very much for coming down as usual, Talgrath's been a pleasure. And Prosper, the Shakespearean terror.
I am Shaksqueer and I play Prosper, the Tiefling Bard. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Shaksqueer. It's only got 2 E's. I know it's weird. But you can also find me. I have a knitting Twitter, which is Crit1 Pearl1, with the wands being wands, where I do knitted nerdy things. It's very new, so it's slightly boring, but that's where I'll be. And this is just such a great episode, and oh my goodness, I think my best bit has to be the moment when I realized that there were cannonballs in there with Talgrath. And that image of him kind of, you know, like that classic, I said Spitfire, the classic Spitfire image of him looking to the side, seeing cannonballs, looking to the other side, seeing cannonballs, and being like,
Yeah, just like completely like smashing all the way over there with like these 2 things following him. It's amazing. I love it.
and also, A special shout out to the moment of I'm just going to drop this dagger onto your face from Farah. Just like angry chicken person on the side of the boat, just like, bing.
Ow, why?
And it's rusty. Enjoy tetanus.
I love that. They didn't get to enjoy their tetanus, unfortunately.
No, because they went.
They got blown up by a half-orc, but as usual...
Like that, I just saw like that gif, I don't know if anyone's seen it, of like the baseball player who explodes the bird. Because the baseball just goes so fast and you just see...
Basically that, yeah, that is exactly what happened. And yeah, thank you for playing. It's always good to have you, Shax.
Oh, it's so great. I love this crew. I love how insane it is.
Good. And finally, last but not least, Nala.
Hey, I play Nala, the human variant barbarian. On the internet, you might bump into me in a dark corner and not know who I am. That's my thing.
It's pretty threatening.
Yeah.
That sounded really threatening.
Need to bring the theme back, guys. This is supposed to be Saltmarsh. They said it's like mirroring people out of cannonballs. It's beautiful.
Salty, just.
I don't know if I should feel offended by that.
America.
America.
America. I imagine. I'm sorry, but with like the idea of like all these cannonballs behind him, I just got the idea of like the backdrop of the American flag as well.
Oh my
I just said
god.
eagle. Well, I guess he crashed into the eagle and exploded.
Oh.
Talgrath does have a thing where he tells drunken stories. So his version of it is going to be standing on these two cannonballs, just riding along as a theme plays in the background, you know.
Beautiful.
The siren was clearly like part eagle, so when it exploded, it did that.
Yeah, my favorite moment. I don't know. There's so many cool moments. I think one of the good ones was when our lovely bard actually was singing little ditties and throwing out Shaksqueer fire every time they cast. What is it?
Vicious mockery.
There we go. That's it.
I have a brand.
Yeah, the Shaksqueer vicious mockery, and it's glorious. I love it.
It was
I can't wait to
great.
see more.
I'm gonna have to come up with more lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's brilliant. Good to have you on as usual. And well, last but not least, the Geth is myself. So I'm Hollowtail. I'm the DM here. I run multiple shows. I've got one show coming up this Saturday, which is Unhallowed, which the lovely FrostFrmFire has mentioned earlier on. It is a Victorian post-apocalyptic RPG and is very dark and dreary. And there's a lot of comedy in that too, because there always is. But it's fun, and they're about to go and investigate a suspected train inside of an underground tunnel system, which they want to take to York, so that's going to be interesting. And aside from that, you can find us here every single Monday doing Mistborne at 10:30 p.m. UK and 5:30 p.m. EDT every single week, right here for more of this crew, which is brilliant, and for more insane things, no doubt, in the future. So thank you very much for watching. You've all been brilliant. Goodbye.